So yesterday, someone by the name of Trendcast wrote under some of my videos, yeah, I quit making music. I never be able to afford anything like that. And I literally try to do what you do in your videos and it never sounds anything even nearly the same. I give up. I let people like you who make it look super easy be the ones to create what you enjoy. So if you see this video, please contact me on Discord, send me your tracks. Maybe we can talk about it, because I think making music is still a great way of expressing yourself. But I get your point. It's the same for me, and it's probably also the same for all the other artists. If you compare your art and maybe yourself to others, it always leads to frustration. It's always a frustrating kind of feeling. And there's also something like, if you make a track one day and then you listen to it the next day, it sounds different than when you listen to it 2 weeks later or a month later, when you have some kind of disconnect between it. And it's always sometimes a weird feeling when you listen to your old tracks from 5 years ago. It sounds quite familiar, but kind of strange. There's something weird going on in the brain. It's maybe also the same effect when you listen to your own voice in a video or maybe in a podcast, right? And it sounds kind of strange because you're not used to it, or you're not used to listen to your own voice from outside of yourself. So listen to your own tracks is maybe also something like listen to what's going on in your brain at this certain point in time. So I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I have no idea what's going on inside of the brain. But yeah, if you see this video, please contact me on Discord, right? We can talk about it. Okay, so I want to take this video and make a bit of music, and I want to amplify that you can actually start very simple inside of Bitwig and then get slowly complex over time. Or maybe let's say we stack some very simple things on top of each other, and then you get something complex out of it, right? So let's say you want to start with the kick drum. You don't need to start with the kick drum. You can start with everything, right? But sometimes it's good to know what the result is dependent on how you start. So when I start with, let's say, some rhythmic elements, the end result is probably some dance floor stuff. And if I start with some chords or with some melodies, then it becomes most of the time something like chill, ambient, or some downbeat melodic stuff. So it depends on how you start, or it depends where you end up with how you start. So that's the main gist of it. Okay, so we start here with the kick drum, and I use my melodic kick preset here. I'm not sure. I made a video about this. I linked this in the description below. I'm not sure if this is a free preset. I think it's a free preset. So that's just a melodic kick drum here. And I start by using here a note clip, just double clicking this here. And in here, I just lay down one note, and it doesn't matter where. I just use C2 here. It's all the same. It's the same pitch, right? And then I bring down this loop marker here just to 1 bar. So this is exactly 1 bar, right? So it loops just in 1 bar, because sometimes people ask me, how do they do it that this kick drum, plays in exactly 1 bar? Didn't do actually a 1 bar loop, or they didn't get what I do. So this is what I do. I just make this loop marker here shorter, and then I can hit play, and it plays exactly in 1 bar. Then I go here to the BPM to 1, 2, 3. It looks kind of nice. Then I hit here the loop markers. We have here in the arranger some kind of loop. Then maybe I do here the rate a bit shorter. And then I put the peak limiter on the master, so nobody gets mad at me. Okay, so then on top of that, we use some samples. I want to use some hi-hat samples, maybe an open one. And inside of Bitwig, we have some 3 packages, and I really like the acoustic drum packages. So maybe search for acoustic. Or maybe let's search for a drum machine, a 606, and then an open open hi-hat. Something like this. So it's just a sample here. And I do the same. I just pull this down, hold Control down, and then drag this down. And in here, I want to emphasize basically the offbeat. It's probably here, right? Let me see. Yeah, right. So we need to disable here the key tracking. At some point, they introduced that the key tracking is always on. I don't know why, but it really annoys me at some point when you want to just use some drum samples and you don't need key tracking. So something like this. We make here the envelope a bit shorter. And that's basically it. Then we duplicate this here by using Control and D for duplicate. And then in here, we want to lay down some closed hi-hats. So here, here, and here. And we don't need this because that's the open hi-hat in the other thing. And we want to use a bit of velocity here. Something like this. And we want to exchange here the sample for a closed 606 maybe. Yeah, something like this. That's the same sound, but it's closed. Bring the volume down a bit. Okay, nice. So then we want to use here some kind of snare. And I also want to use acoustic snare drum. So you can see here, it's the package acoustic drums and percussions. It's in the repository from Bitwig, so you can download this for free. So this is a complete drum set here. Let's go for a sample. Acoustic snare. Snare. Could also maybe use some kind of clap, maybe. Maybe a clap is better. Clap, acoustic. Or maybe a 909 clap. Maybe too old school. Or 606. There's no clap for 606. Maybe this one here. Yeah, something like this. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so pitch tracking off. And then we do the same thing here. But this time we use 2 bars. And here we put a clap in the middle, maybe. No, that's completely off. Need this one here. Perfect. Let's group this together, call this drums. And what else can we put in there? Maybe some snares, some acoustic snares again. Maybe something like this. Something like this. And here I put something down. Some kind of drum roll. So we scale, no, we duplicate this here 2 times. Then we just delete these two. And then we bring in here a bit of velocity scaling. Something like this. We put this also here in the drum group. So this is the drum roll. It's the best techno beat ever. Then we want to maybe use bass sound, make it pretty straight. Go for a saw here. Voices is monophonic. And use a very simple pattern here. At least it's something, right? So we call it bass. I put this also here in a drum group because I probably want to use my new compressor by Tegeler. Looks like this. And yeah, I just put this here out. Schwerkraftmaschine. So this here goes out basically to the compressor, and here it's getting back in. So it sounds like this. I can also use here a plugin to actually control this from my PC. This is without. It's maybe a bit too much. But I don't care. So, so now that we have this here put through the compressor, I probably want to use some kind of clipper. So this time I'm using here the, what's the name? The free clip. And I push this until it sounds quite ugly, and then I just pull it back a bit. Okay. So we have drums and we have a basic groove already running. And then I want to go over to some melody sounds. So I'm using a polymer here. Also saw, probably. And I want to use unison, fat, detuning. I want to use a reverb, convolution, that's enough. A delay 2, that's enough. And again here, pretty basic, very simple sequence in the scale. want to put this more in the background. Yeah, something like this. So this is more like a pedal tone that gives the scale or hint of the scale away, and then there's another polymer here. And this one, let's say this one plays a chord maybe. So minor chord, 7th. Something like this, a bit more resonance. Low cut. Maybe not on the one here, maybe. And maybe not in this default root position. I don't know. Ah, kinda cool. Kinda like it. Maybe a reverb on this also. And then we want to make this longer. This is 1 bar long. I make it 2 bar long. Yeah, we just modulate here this thing, this modulation amount, the render mod, just slightly. So 3, let's use note. It's not polyphonic because I want to have the same value for all of the notes. Hold, and then every time I trigger this with a note, I get a random value, and then I end up here on a different position. Nice. So this is the chord. Maybe we can switch here to a different chord at the end here, but not all the time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, something like this. But here, more open. Something like this, and then we say this one here we want to play only on the every second iteration of this loop. Okay. So we have a chord, we have a pedal tone, and now we probably need some kind of lead melody on top. Or something that just brings in some character. So make this longer. We need, of course, convolution. We need a bit of delay. So you don't need to use here the internal devices, right? You can use whatever you want to like. I just want to highlight that you don't need to use a lot of VSTs or stuff like this. You can just stick with the chord with the stock devices. Okay, let's play something on the keyboard, and it's a scale of D sharp minor. You all know it. And just stick to the black keys, to the black notes, which is pentatonic, which is perfect for melodies, of course. It's not perfect, so we make this 8 bars long. I quantize everything, so I select everything with Control and A, and then I hit Q, which is quantization. You can see it's a pretty simple melody, not much going on. You can make the release a bit longer. Maybe I bring the chord here 1 octave lower. Let's see how this sounds. Oops. Maybe an octave lower. Maybe I don't like the melody, so let's record another one. Maybe I make the melody longer. Something like this. It's slightly better. Just copy this over here. worst melody ever. The worst melody ever. I think that's better. Let's try this melody again. It's actually better. Okay, let's use the old one. The best idea is most of the times always the best idea for some reason. Okay, so then I want to use a transpose, a node transpose here in front of the synth. And make a macro on the project level here, bipolar, and call this transpose. And then I modulate this here by, let's say, 7 semitones exactly. And then I just copy this from the melody to the chord, into the pedal tone, to the bass. And yeah, that's it for all the melodic stuff. Yeah, here for the melody and for the chords, you can use, of course, I don't know, Diva and some pristine presets. This is like very basic sounds, but I like to use basic sounds for some reason. It's some of my jams. But you don't need to use these basic sounds, right? You can also use your piano or something like this. But you can see here most of these clips are not very complex. You can also do something like this here in the kick. Use a second kick and then say this is at the end, every 8 iteration here we get a double kick. For the hi-hats here, maybe let's use here every 4 iterations at the end. Get something like this. Oh, let's use also here 8. Compressor is still working. The plugin, okay. And here for the melody, I want to change this modulation amount slight and slowly. So use random mod. smoothing all the way up, bar, and then I use 16 bars. It's not polyphonic. Maybe use sync, and then I bring this in here. And then it fades in and fades out slowly over time. Maybe a bit of groove. A drum roll, I want to high pass probably. Nice. Kind of like it. So yeah, I want to explain that you can just use some simple, very basic clips, audio clips, audio sequences, or note sequences, then also very simple sounds. Then you can build up and create much more complex things out of it. As you can see here, there's not a lot of notes going on. It's just using a bit of, you know, different length of the clips, polyrhythms maybe, and also the operators here of Bitwig Studio, and yeah, creating these kind of tracks then. Okay, so this is maybe something you can save for later maybe, and then in a week or so you bring in some more characteristic sounds, maybe something you sampled, or maybe you sing something on top, or some vocals. So, you know, to bring it out of this generic state and make it more like a real song, something that expresses something. But yeah, that's basically it. And back to the initial idea here, Trendcast, please write me in Discord. Let me know, okay? So that's it for this video. Leave a like if you liked the video, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I see you probably in the next video. Thanks for watching, and bye.